What if I told you that some of the strangest things your body does are not signs that something is wrong, but signs that your body is doing exactly what it was built to do? A random eye twitch, a sudden hiccup attack, that weird moment when your leg jerks as you fall asleep, goosebumps from music, pins and needles in your arm, a stomach growl at the worst possible time. These experiences can feel awkward, creepy, or completely broken. But in many cases, they are actually normal body glitches, strange little reactions that happen because your body is constantly adjusting, protecting, signaling, and trying to keep itself in balance. Here are 10 body glitches that are actually normal. Number 10. Your eyelid twitching for no reason. Few body glitches are more annoying than an eyelid twitch. It is tiny. It is harmless most of the time, but once it starts, it can hijack your attention all day. Usually this kind of twitch is linked to things like stress, fatigue, eye strain, or too much caffeine. In many cases, it comes and goes on its own. What makes it feel so strange is how small it is compared to how distracting it becomes. A tiny muscle in your eyelid begins firing involuntarily, and suddenly it feels impossible to ignore. The more you focus on it, the more irritating it seems. It can make people worry that something serious is happening. But most of the time, it is just one of those weird little ways your body reacts to being tired, overstimulated, or under stress. In other words, your eye is not usually malfunctioning. It is just being dramatic. Number 9. Hiccups showing up out of nowhere. Hiccups feel absurd because they seem to come from nowhere and make no sense. One second you are fine. The next second, your body suddenly jerks and makes a weird sound you did not ask for. Hiccups happen when the diaphragm, the muscle that helps you breathe, suddenly contracts without your control. Then your vocal cords snap shut, which creates that familiar hic sound. They can be triggered by eating too fast, drinking carbonated drinks, swallowing air, laughing, sudden temperature changes, or sometimes no obvious reason at all. That is why they feel like a glitch. Your breathing system suddenly misfires for a while, then usually resets on its own. It is strange. It is inconvenient. It can even be funny or embarrassing. But most of the time, it is a normal temporary body reaction, not a sign that your body is falling apart. Number 8. Your arm or leg falling asleep. Almost everyone knows this feeling. You sit in a weird position for too long, or wake up with your arm trapped under you, and suddenly that part of your body feels numb, dead, or filled with pins and needles. It feels wrong enough that people describe it as if the body part stopped working. But what is usually happening is much simpler. Temporary pressure can affect nerves, blood flow, or both, which changes the signals traveling through that area. Once you move and relieve the pressure, normal sensation begins to return. That is when the really weird part happens. Instead of instantly feeling normal again, the body often gives you tingling, prickling, buzzing, or a burning pins and needles sensation. It feels like your nervous system is rebooting. And in a way, that is not far from the truth. It is uncomfortable, but in most cases, it is just a temporary signal problem that fixes itself once normal circulation and nerve signaling return. Number 7. Your stomach growling at the worst moment. You could be in class, in a meeting, on a quiet train, or sitting in a silent room, and suddenly your stomach makes a sound dramatic enough to embarrass you in public. But stomach growling is not automatically a sign that you are starving. Those sounds happen because muscles in your stomach and intestines are moving gas, food, and liquid through your digestive system. This can happen when you are hungry, but it can also happen after eating. So your stomach is not just noisy when it is empty, it is noisy when digestion is active. The reason it feels like a glitch is because your body seems to broadcast private internal activity without warning. You did not choose the sound. You did not approve the timing. And yet, there it is. But in most cases, stomach noises are simply the soundtrack of digestion, not a breakdown, just your body doing maintenance. Number 6. Getting goosebumps. From emotion. Goosebumps make sense when you are cold. But when a song hits you emotionally, or a powerful moment in a movie gives you chills, or fear suddenly runs through your body, why does your skin react? Goosebumps happen when tiny muscles connected to your hair follicles contract, making the hairs stand slightly and creating those small bumps on the skin. In animals with thick fur, this response once helped trap heat or make them look bigger when threatened. In humans, it still happens, even though we do not really need it the same way. That is what makes it feel like a glitch. An ancient physical survival response is still active inside you. Even when all that happened was a beautiful piece of music or a deeply emotional moment. Your body is basically saying something important is happening, and it shows that by changing your skin. It is weird. It is primitive. And it is completely normal. Number 5. Jerking awake as you fall asleep. You are drifting off, your body relaxes, your mind begins to fade, and suddenly your leg kicks or your whole body jerks like you just tripped off a cliff. That strange moment is often called a hypnic jerk or sleep start. It is a sudden, involuntary muscle movement that can happen as your body transitions from wakefulness into sleep. Sometimes it feels like falling. Sometimes it feels like slipping. Sometimes it is just a sharp jolt with no dream attached. Nobody enjoys it because it feels like your body sabotaged sleep at the exact moment you were about to rest. But it is actually common. Your nervous system is shifting states, and during that changeover, small misfires in muscle activity can happen. So even though it feels dramatic, it is often just one more example of your body switching modes a little awkwardly, like a computer flickering as it changes programs. Number 4. Yawning because someone else yawned. Yawning is already strange enough. Why does your body suddenly force your mouth open, stretch your jaw, and make you inhale in a big exaggerated motion? But contagious yawning is even stranger. Seeing someone yawn can make you yawn. Hearing about yawning can make you yawn. Sometimes even reading about it can trigger the urge. That makes it feel like your body is copying someone else without your permission. Scientists still debate the full reason contagious yawning happens, but the phenomenon itself is real and normal. That is what makes it such a fascinating body glitch. It is not just automatic, it is socially automatic. Your nervous system notices the behavior in someone else and may trigger the same response in you. It is one of the weirdest reminders that humans are deeply social creatures, and our bodies are often reacting to other people in ways we do not consciously control. Number 3. Blushing when you do not want to. Blushing is one of the cruelest normal body glitches because it reveals your feelings at exactly the moment you may want to hide them. You get embarrassed, nervous, caught off guard, self-conscious, and then your face turns red. Blood vessels in the skin of the face widen, increasing blood flow and creating visible warmth and redness. You do not choose it. You cannot fully stop it. And trying not to blush often makes it worse. That is why it feels so unfair. Your body is responding before your mind can organize itself. It is like your nervous system is making a public announcement. Something emotional is happening in here. Blushing can feel awkward, but it is a normal reaction tied to emotion, stress, and social awareness. In other words, it is not a bug in the system. It is a feature you did not ask for. Number 2. Waking up and not being able to move for a moment. This is one of the creepiest body glitches people experience. You wake up, you know where you are, you may even open your eyes, but for a few seconds you cannot move. This is often linked to sleep paralysis, a state where the brain wakes up while the body is still partly in the muscle shutdown mode that normally happens during REM sleep. That makes it feel terrifying. Your mind is online. Your body is not fully back yet. Some people also feel pressure, fear, or a strange presence in the room, which makes the experience even more disturbing. But despite how scary it feels, short episodes can happen in otherwise healthy people, especially during stress, poor sleep, or irregular sleep schedules. It is one of the most dramatic examples of the brain and body temporarily falling out of sync. And even though it feels supernatural to many people, it is usually a very human sleep glitch. Number 1. Your fingers wrinkling in water. Almost everyone notices this in the bath, shower, or pool. Stay in water long enough and your fingertips start to wrinkle. Most people assume this is just the skin soaking up water and swelling like a sponge. But that is not the full story. Research suggests this wrinkling is tied to the nervous system and changes in blood vessels under the skin. In other words, your body appears to be actively creating those wrinkles. Why would it do that? One possible explanation is that wrinkled fingers may help improve grip in wet conditions. That means the wrinkling may actually be useful. So what seems like a weird cosmetic side effect of water exposure might actually be your body switching into a more functional mode for slippery environments. That is what makes it the perfect body glitch to end on. It looks strange. It feels random. But it may actually be smart. So those were 10 body glitches that are actually normal. From eye twitching and hiccups to goosebumps, pins and needles, contagious yawning, sleep paralysis, and wrinkled fingers, the human body is full of strange reactions that feel wrong, even when they are part of normal biology. And maybe that is what makes the human body so fascinating. It is not smooth. It is not silent. It is not perfectly predictable. But most of the time, those weird little glitches are signs that the system is still doing its job. Which one of these do you think is the strangest? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for more fascinating facts about the human body, science, history, space, and the strange reality hidden inside everyday life.